This is Don't Panic, episode number 212, recorded July 30th, 2018, the Scarlett Streamer. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by two guys who taste great and are less filling. It's Colby Rabidou and Dan Miller.
Hey.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Sean.
Less filling?
Well, it's low cal. It's low calories.
Low cal calzone.
Oh, the low cal calzone zone.
No, cal's low cal calzone zone.
Yes.
No. Cal's SoCal low cal calzone zone. There we go.
Yep.
What is that from? I know that.
That's part of that is from Parks and Rec. Part of it, I innovated.
Yes, that is a very deep cut for longtime fans of the program. I didn't remember it, and I'm on the program, so doesn't get much deeper than that.
I made a 30 Rock reference at work today, and I made the mind grapes. I mentioned mind grapes, and people looked at me like I had a fern for a head. So disappointing.
Nobody knows more 30. I don't think the writers of 30 Rock know as many 30 Rock references as you do, Dan. Because sometimes you pull them out, and I'm like, where is that from? Oh, if Dan's saying it, it's probably 30 Rock.
What I didn't remember, do you remember the quote that the mind grapes came from? I didn't remember this part. I just remembered that he said it.
I do not.
Ready?
Go ahead.
So this is what Jack said. Jack Welch had such unparalleled management skills that they named Welch's grape juice after him because he squeezes the sweetest juice out of his workers' mind grapes.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Tracy did. Does Tracy...
Later on, Tracy says to the writers, "What else is on my mind grapes?" But I never got that joke because he was never in the room to hear Jack make the reference.
I'm glad we're pointing out the plot inconsistencies of a show that's been off the air for 5 years.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
So sad. It's only been off the air for 5 years.
I guessed. I actually don't. That is a fair point.
Last season was our senior year of college, right?
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
2013.
I didn't really
years.
I didn't really watch 30 Rock until after college. I watch it now, though. Boy, do I. 30 Rock replaced How I Met Your Mother to me because How I Met Your Mother got bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't just binge through the whole thing on Netflix until I got to the end and start over because I couldn't get to the end because it got bad.
I remember the thing about 30 Rock for me was that 30 Rock premiered at the same time as Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which was Aaron Sorkin's big comeback show. That was also set at a late-night sketch variety show, which was very amusing. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, what idiots to premiere both of these at the same time. Of course, 30 Rock will never be anything, and Studio 60 is going to be huge because it's Aaron Sorkin. And, it turns out I was very wrong. Mm-hmm. Admittedly so.
Now, was that after Newsroom?
No, that was before Newsroom. So it went it went Sports Night, West Wing, Studio 60, The Newsroom. Aaron Sorkin's not allowed on television anymore. He blew it. No more. No. A man whose career has only gotten worse in terms of television.
That's a bummer. All hype.
Yeah, Sports Night was great. Well, don't get me started. Everyone go back and listen to the first 2 episodes of Up for Debate from a million years ago when we talked about Aaron Sorkin for 2+ hours. Matt and I have no joke seriously talked about doing a limited run series where we recap Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Ooh,
But we were going to like Studio 60 on the podcast strip, and we were going to do an episode by episode recap because we both are like obsessed with that show. It's very weird.
Is it good? Like, should I watch it?
No, it's not good, but it's like one of those shows that like has so much potential to be good, but they just made kind of like The Newsroom, where they just made every bad decision at every turn to just make it worse, and then by the end it was just not good at all. Mm. But we were both very big fans. Matt still wears his Studio 60 t-shirt, so I've got to rep his commitment.
Wow.
I would need to watch the show, but there's definitely a good podcast pun opportunity there.
Yep. It's on my long list of ideas for podcasts. And someday, maybe I'll get to some of them.
Someday.
What else is going on, guys? Anything interesting happening in our lives? We were recapping a little bit before we started the stream here.
I ate a burrito on my porch today, and it was delightful.
Yeah.
Porch burritos may be the best burritos.
Hang on. You have something that you would describe as a porch?
Yes, sir. I have a bit. Well,
as opposed to a balcony?
Maybe I'll get
it's a balcony.
All right.
I don't know. Like, what makes something a porch? Like, you can get in to the house from
I
it.
feel like it's an elevation thing.
Mm.
You can have a back porch. You can have like a front porch. You wouldn't necessarily get into your house from the back porch.
Maybe porches have to have stairs up to them.
Maybe. A deck has to be made of wood, right?
I mean,
What
it
about
could
the
be made
deck
of
of an
fake
aircraft carrier?
Well, I mean, okay, what about a deck of cards?
You talked yourself out of this one, Sean.
Yeah, as usual. Well, that's very nice. What kind of burrito?
Carnitas.
Give us the deets.
Carnitas.
Nice.
It was good. It was so good.
Nice. Do you guys ever make your own burritos at home?
Yes,
No.
I do. I should.
It's very fun.
It's not that hard. Well, actually, I shouldn't say. I've done it in the past, but it's not something I've done in years. Actually, it's probably not something I've done since I started doing Blue Apron, because before, like, when I had to manage my own grocery logistics, it's a pretty easy thing to accomplish.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
What do you put in your burrito, Sean?
I actually have a pretty standard recipe that I make with you make it in the slow cooker with chicken. It's primarily chicken and rice, but beans, tomatoes, a ton of spices and seasoning, and then you use that as your primary filling. You do some fresh pico, you do a little salsa, some cheese, you do some sour cream, throw a bunch of other stuff on there. You make a burrito. It's very tasty.
All right. That does sound good. I should make more burritos.
Yeah, it's a nice
burrito party.
Yeah, that is a fun idea for a party, because that's the kind of thing you can put out a big spread of that people can make their own, because you got a nice spread of options.
Mm-hmm. Same with tacos.
I'm all about options.
Options are nice.
I'm actually not all about options. I take it back. I want as few options as possible.
Okay, now you're just wildly swinging on a pendulum here, Dan, and I'm very confused, because one second you're like, I want all of them, and then you're like, I want none of them.
No, I want exactly one of them.
Oh, so you don't want options. Well,
no.
having one is not an option.
No, I just want a burrito.
You want someone just to hand you a burrito. It's the devil's choice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what's the worst burrito filling?
What's the worst?
The worst? Like tofu or something?
A broken light bulb?
I would have said the worst of the regular.
Yeah, of normal.
Is this up for debate now?
Yeah. Not much of a difference between the two shows, let's be real.
I would have said a couple of years ago sour cream. I hated sour cream. Hated it. But now come around. Now
I could eat sour cream with a spoon.
Oh, that's gross. Okay, I wouldn't. Come on.
I love all like vaguely like milk gone bad products. They're all so good. Greek yogurt, sour cream, cottage cheese.
Or is it just that you really... No, because I also know you love Cheese Whiz. Is it a soft foods thing? Do you just like pasty soft foods?
No, I honestly, Cheese Whiz was a phase. Like, I don't eat a lot of Cheese Whiz anymore.
You've moved past it.
But like sour cream, that creme fraiche, like any of that stuff.
I think the worst has got to be the red beans.
Yeah.
Like refried beans?
Refried beans, yeah. Yes, thank you.
I mean, black beans are better, but I like refried. There's no shame in that.
But they're strictly better tasting than the black beans, but it makes for such a poor experience on the whole.
I hear that.
They're goopy.
I hate...
Now, go ahead, Sean.
Lettuce. Lettuce should not be on a burrito.
What?
Lettuce can go on a taco. Don't put it on a burrito.
Crazy. I mean, I guess
it just takes up volume in the burrito that could be spent on more delicious filling ingredients.
Now, I haven't experienced this here. One of the best burritos I've ever had was in San Francisco, and the place, I think it was El Taqueria, that's what it's called. I think a relatively well-known burrito place in San Francisco. They don't put rice on their burrito, and it was amazing. It was like all meat and the good stuff without the rice there filling you up. And I didn't feel bad after.
Yep.
It was very cool.
Yeah, you got to cut down on those them grains.
Yeah, those bonus carbs. Like, what are they really doing for you?
Nothing. Taking up your burrito space.
Right.
Reducing your volume.
Man, I hate it when things reduce my volume.
Man, you got to crank it up.
Yeah.
Turn the knob up to 11.
Oh, boy.
So, tech news. There's got to be so much tech news this week, right?
Oh, Dan, there is an average amount of tech news this week.
An average amount. Hey, that's better than a below average amount.
That is, for our sake, a good thing. Yeah, we've got a number of stories here in the rundown. I'll give you two the opportunity to pick our first story while you're doing that. I want to thank everybody who's watching us live right now on Facebook at facebook.com/Don'tPanicShow and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Don'tPanicShow. Throughout the show, you can comment on either of those pages, and we might use your comment live on the air. You may even see it up on the screen on the video version. If you want to join us live Monday nights, about 10:15 Eastern, on those two pages, we stream. We love to have people as part of the conversation. It's a lot of fun. So with that being said, guys, where are we going to start this week?
I had a really good segue like midway through our discussion before, and it was options. Speaking of options, Facebook's stock market decline is one of the largest. Is the largest one-day drop in U.S. history.
There we go.
Smooth as hell, man.
Sounds like the transition was made.
And so we'll move into the story. You're right, Colby. Facebook's stock price dropped 19% the other day, erasing $120 billion in market value, the largest one-day drop in the history of the American stock market. It fell as much as 23% in after-hours trading after Facebook reported second quarter earnings, but then stabilized close to that 19% number. While revenue increased 42% in the quarter, it missed analyst projections, and even worse, daily active users grew by just 22 million, the lowest such number since at least 2011. And Facebook's chief financial officer warned that revenue growth could decline by high single-digit percentages for the rest of the year. Now, that $120 billion drop outpaced the $91 billion Intel lost in September of 2000 during the original dot-com bust, and the $77 billion Microsoft lost in a day during that same time. Now, guys, the question for you two is, what's up with Facebook? Do we think... I've seen a lot of theories floating around as to why growth is slowing at Facebook. Do you guys think that it is a result of the privacy concerns it's been going through recently? Is it fatigue of the service, or is it that there just is a theoretical maximum of how many people can use this service when they have already 2.3 billion active users? How many more can they get? I mean, what's really going on with Facebook?
Now, I'm not super well versed in the business.
Colby barely even knows Facebook. He's, kept it at arm's length ever since it was founded.
Yeah, I definitely never worked there.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to pull your shirt up.
That would have been good.
It just says I worked there.
Friend of the show, Emily, reports that the broadcast has been paused for a bit.
Yeah, that is a fair point. We're back on Facebook now. Twitch should have been consistently running. I am having... It's so funny. It's going to sound really lame. Remember the whole Spectre, Intel... And then they said, we're going to slow down everyone's computers to fix the bug. Ever since that's happened, my computer has been slower. I don't want to blame anybody, but that is the case.
Don't mean to point fingers.
No, but it's definitely their fault. And so we are recording locally on our end, but thank you for the heads up.
I see. I see.
Try and get that stream back up as soon as possible.
Yes. Anyways, what were we talking about? Facebook?
Yeah, what's up with Facebook? What's up with Facebook?
Now, like, is revenue the thing that's like before what you spent or after what you spent?
No, I think I'm just raw dollars. That's just
So it's just like raw dollars that you made or like total dollars at the end?
No, it's not profit.
Okay. So I see. I don't know, like maybe it could be like if their revenue, well, I guess they just missed their projection, right? I guess like if they didn't grow as much as they thought they were going to do, it makes sense that they didn't make as much money as they thought they were going to make.
Yep.
So, or they didn't make more money, right? Like, so maybe like, yeah, maybe it's just they're having trouble like getting to that other 4.7 billion people or something.
Well, I read somewhere, theoretically, someone kind of crunched the numbers, and that theoretically the maximum daily users you could accomplish is about 3 billion once you factor in of the global population, how many of them are underage or how don't have access to the internet, or you kind of do that math. They think 3 billion is theoretically the maximum. And even worse.
I think that you can't really. They lost a lot of money, and they claim it's because they spent it on privacy. Did they say that?
No, it was a decrease in straight up revenue. So it really didn't have anything to do with their spending. It was just the raw money coming in, and you can really, and that's why revenue growth, they said, would quote decline by high single digit percentages for the rest of the year as a result of the reduced growth in daily active users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that. Well, I think Facebook's strategy, if they want to keep growing daily active users, the Instagram WhatsApp thing is the only strategy I can think of. And it does seem to be working pretty well. So that number is not Facebook.com daily active users, right? That's across all properties?
I actually don't know that.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I imagine that the numbers they're reporting are that one, because why wouldn't you?
Sure.
Yeah. But then again, do like WhatsApp users aren't seeing ads, right? Like, are they? I assume they're not.
No, but that's not what the market cares about, Colby. They care about the number.
Yeah, but I guess in this article, well, this thing also discusses their revenue growth, right? Like, so even if they're getting more users on WhatsApp, they're not making any money off users on WhatsApp.
That's true. Hey, it didn't stop Facebook for a long time.
That's true.
Well, and again, their revenue did increase 42% quarter to quarter. It just isn't going to grow as fast for the rest of the year. So they're still making plenty of money. There's no doubt about that. I just am interested in the idea that, if all they care about is active users as a collective across all their services, then I don't understand why they're trying to do things like, and I'd have to pull up the exact number wherever it is, but apparently they reported out the number of users using Facebook stories is like nobody. And the number of people using Instagram stories is everybody. So I don't understand why they're trying to do all this sort of steal from themselves type of moves when they care about themselves as a collective business. I mean, I guess they do get more revenue from Facebook.com versus Instagram. You
always want to cannibalize yourself, though, right?
I guess, but at the point where your user growth is slowing, at some point it doesn't. Again, if you do hit a theoretical maximum of how many people can use your service, then at some point you don't want to steal from yourself, right? My assumption.
Well, but it's now you're kind of in a zero-sum game where if someone else becomes popular, now you're losing money. You've reached your maximum, and you could be cut out of the pie.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but then at the same time, it's not like Facebook.com is creating new things that are going to borrow from Instagram before someone else can. It's like they're cutting their own stuff in half. You know, if it's like, oh, we want to steal Instagram users back to Facebook with new features, but instead they're duplicating features that I think just weaken the brand and the sort of site overall. It's confusing.
That is confusing.
Yeah. I am not a financial advisor, but I think Facebook would probably be fine, politics aside. I think they have so many people working on so many things that it feels like 2009 Google. Something's going to stick to the wall eventually.
Well, I mean, the company is worth roughly $620 billion. I mean, it's not going to go away tomorrow.
No.
By any stretch.
Yep. I considered over this weekend, speaking of Facebook, I looked at VR stuff again. I was like, there must be like VR. Like, it's been years. There must be like, show me the stuff. Like, what's new? And nothing. I was like, there's no compelling experience yet for VR, so I didn't buy a VR thing. But I was like, I could buy VR. I have a computer that can do it now. I could talk about it on the show. No. So maybe Facebook can make that thing take off, but maybe we just need to wait for the forthcoming of VR or whichever one we're on.
Well, Dan, it was announced this week on Google Daydream virtual reality headsets. You can now get officially Google Chrome.
Whoa. What the hell is a Daydream virtual reality headset?
We've talked about this on the show. Usually only during
Google Cardboard.
No, this is the fancy version of that. The Daydream, which is the platform where they like certify like, oh, you're Daydream compatible, and that's Google's VR. We usually only talk about this once a year when I/O comes around and they announce some stupid thing for it we don't care about.
Okay, I've seen this. I thought this was just a fancier case for the cardboard.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, but they certify. They don't manufacture any of it. They just certify other companies. It's a compatibility thing. But now you can browse Google Chrome in it.
This is pretty exciting.
Let
me get some screenshots.
So many tabs.
But like tabs you can reach out and touch.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Where do I get? Show me the screenshots. All these articles are so terrible. How does it lay it out? Does it give you the ability to do cool things you couldn't do anymore before?
Imagine if we could broadcast "Don't Panic" in VR.
This is what I'm saying.
Can. But like, why would we?
Well, for an immersive experience, be in the room.
Oh man, I would someday.
You could watch Colby make his pre-show cocktail.
Right? Exclusive content.
I will say this right here, right now, in a declarative statement. If the day ever comes where someone goes to turn on the latest episode of Don't Panic, and it is our 3 virtual avatars sitting around a fake 3D table in virtual reality, please remind me of this.
With a big Don't Panic button that we can touch in virtual reality.
Yeah, and it's just us virtually talking to each other in the saddest room possible. You remind me of this moment, and I will shut that shit down. That is lame. That is so lame.
Now, Sean, to be real, how different is that from where we are right now?
But the difference is,
I'm in an actual closet.
But that's what's charming and cheap and like homemade about it. Like as soon as you go to that stuff, it's like Second Life, where it's like the real world but sadder.
Yes.
Man, does anyone still play Second Life?
I think it still exists. I don't know if it's like popular.
Interesting.
But
I wonder what it's like. There should be people who explore these dead games. I feel like there have been articles about this. Like it's the last day of the Star Wars MMO at these virtual worlds where they go to die.
I think we should do.
Not that Second Life is going to do that.
What should we do? Don't Panic in Second Life.
Ooh,
that would be very sad.
That would be a cool like on location like challenge episode.
We should do an episode there. We should do an episode in Minecraft.
Oh my god, the graphics are so much better than it used to be.
Really? I was imagining they were the same.
Look, you can get a latte.
Don't panic. On tour across virtual worlds.
Across cyberspace.
So we'll find every kind of open world. We'll do like a Warcraft episode, and we'll do any episode where the three of us can play at the same time in an open world environment. We're gonna go there and do an episode from there.
Ooh.
This is such a Dan. Stop. This is such a garbage idea. It's a joke. I'm joking.
Wait, is there VR? Is there VR for Second Life? Can you Second Life on an Oculus or something?
Here, I'm signing up for Second Life right now.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our next story before this gets wildly out of
I
control.
could be a robot. Oh wait, never mind. Carry on.
Okay. What else would you guys like to talk about? We got Xbox news, Verizon, we got Spectrum, Uber.
I don't know.
I don't. All right. How about Verizon? Let's talk about this story from our friends at Bloomberg. Verizon is seeking a partner when it rolls out its 5G service to homes in Los Angeles and Sacramento later this year. They want to provide television service over 5G, but rather than do it themselves, they are going to partner, potentially, with a company like Google or Apple. Negotiations are ongoing and could fall apart, said the source, who asked not to be identified. Verizon is, like I said, rolling it out in Los Angeles and Sacramento later this year, and they want to bundle it with a live online TV service, but rather than doing it themselves, they're talking about partnering with either YouTube TV via Google or via Apple TV, both of which offer some amount of television, give or take. And so Verizon wouldn't have to power it themselves. Although apparently the source says the long-term version is eventually for Verizon to do it themselves. This is more sort of a temporary sort of test partnership. Yeah.
Amazing.
Interesting.
Speaking of TV, is YouTube all out of sidebars? Are they about to go out of business?
No, no, sidebars is in vertical video, Dan. Vertical video now actually shows vertical. They don't put the black bars on the side.
I don't think I've ever watched a vertical video on YouTube.
I have watched some amount of vertical video. But usually it's some sort of like viral video, breaking news.
I have.
But didn't Vine shoot Square? I don't remember.
Either. It's been so long.
In my mind, it was Square. Much like Instagram. It was the Instagram of videos.
I was talking with somebody. So yesterday, I was with my brother over the weekend, and he made a reference to something, and I'm like, what is that from? He's like, oh, it's from a Vine. And I'm like, how are we still talking? How did that business model not work? Like, we still talk about Vines today, and that hasn't been a thing in years.
What did they do wrong?
It's baffling to me that Twitter bought it and just drove it into the ground.
Ruined. First Vine, then the United States of America. What's next? The world?
Just buying stuff to dump on it, man. Garbage. So, yeah, so that is the scoop with YouTube, Dan. Square, also videos in 4:3 format will also no longer have sidebars, so it still looks weird.
What do they do, just get really big? Or do they just not have black on
They just not have black, so it kind of plays in the same size. It's a weird, if you can find a screen grab, which I agree with Dan, these articles don't do a good job of including them, it looks very weird. I mean, I guess it's better than not having the bars, but it is odd. So any thoughts on this Verizon story before we move on?
No.
It's pretty
Verizon.
Pretty flat. Okay.
Who cares?
Fair enough. All right.
Vertical integration.
Vertical integration. Yes.
Yes, vertical integration.
How about Xbox?
Xbox.
You guys like the Xbox? A couple of young millennials.
Sure.
Excuse me. This website says, "Hi there. Your ad blocker is showing."
Yeah, be nice to Paul Thurrott. He's a very nice man who writes very nice articles, and you should give him your ad money.
I feel chastised though, and that does not make me want to give him my money.
Called you out.
You can click move on to the site. It does work.
Oh,
Anyways,
I'll click that.
Xbox.
Yes,
Xbox.
indeed. This is all rumor stuff, but it is pretty interesting. Throughout's got good connections in Microsoft. Apparently, they are working on their next generation Xbox, which isn't surprising, but the fact that they're working on 2 different devices and the difference between them is what is surprising. The code name is Scarlett, and they're working towards 2 devices, the first being a traditional console that would be, have a big, powerful processor in it, very similar to what they do now. What's a little more interesting is the second device, which is a streaming box designed to work with the company's upcoming game streaming platform. It's codenamed Scarlett Cloud, and it is a game streaming service that they're working towards bringing to the market. But the console is what's interesting. It's a lower-powered device that would designed to be for game streaming. It would have a limited amount of compute power locally for tasks like controller input, image processing, and collision detection. It will be a little bit more expensive than, nothing, but significantly less than the sort of full generation console. Interestingly enough, as this article points out, Microsoft typically doesn't make money on the hardware sales. They do make money on Xbox Live, Game Pass, and game sales, which means that if they can lower the upfront payment and have longer subscription payments, that's more valuable to Xbox and Microsoft. The portion of the game that runs locally runs at the same time in the cloud. It runs in 2 locations at the same time and utilizes Microsoft's cloud to stitch it all together. Because Microsoft has data centers around the globe, theoretically they can reduce the lag, and they're excited that the latency may make this work using the Azure cloud.
The Azure cloud.
The Azure cloud, that cloud.
Yeah, I hear good things about that cloud. It's like a cumulonimbus.
It's a friendly cloud. It's a friendly, happy cloud.
Cool. Now, I've tried several game streaming services.
You have.
Yeah, if you guys recall, many years ago in college, I beta tested the online on live.
Yeah.
On live, the hard to pronounce on live game streaming service, and it was okay. That is mostly what I got from that. I've also tried the PlayStation one, which, am I recalling correctly? Did they buy on live? So maybe it's the same thing. Didn't somebody buy on live?
Somebody did. Now I gotta Google that.
I've also tried that one.
I think they did the PlayStation, yeah.
It's like it's almost good, but it's like it's always there. Like you're slightly behind.
Right. And I think the problem is it's good for games that aren't super latency sensitive, but those games are not high end. So the games it's good at, because you're not going to play, I don't even know. So you're not going to play some super fancy brand new release game on the streaming service, because if it's super fancy, that probably means it's not like a trading card game or a puzzle game.
Yep.
It's probably a first-person shooter, but even if it's like a racing game, it's not going to be a really good experience.
Yeah, I think that makes for an interesting marketing, I don't want to say issue, but I'm kind of curious who the market is for this cheaper streaming device, because if you're playing that new release blockbuster first-person shooter title, you probably have the full-fledged Xbox or PlayStation. I think if you're a casual gamer, yeah, okay, you don't want to spend as much money, so you'll get the cheaper streaming device, but then you don't really need a streaming device because you can just play it on your phone or on a sort of lower-cost device anyway. So I think it's kind of... And then, if they can get the latency so good on the streaming device that it's similar in quality to the big console, then why have both?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, if we're talking like 4K gaming and virtual reality, and okay, I get there's something, but like
4K, yeah.
That talk about streaming that, but I think it's kind of like a weird, like I don't know how you sell the difference between these two.
Yeah. I don't know.
Especially because if this article's correct, whatever the sort of streaming package you pay for, whatever the monthly fee to get all the games, will work on both the full console and the streaming-only console. It's the same experience.
I mean, these video game console manufacturers, for the most part, make their money off of licensing, not off the manufacturing of the consoles. So if they could become a Netflix, that'd be a lot less capital and inventory for them to manage.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, they would definitely prefer that. And then why not just focus on the streaming device? Then why have a full-fledged local console at all? Maybe long term that is the goal.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that is, if they could do it, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We also saw this week, the story wasn't in the rundown, Electronic Arts rolled out their unlimited play service this week. Origin Access Premier, $14.99 a month or $100 a year. But with that, you get over 100 titles. Play as much as you want, as long as you keep playing. They'll also have new release games from FIFA, Madden, Battlefield, some things like that. You also get some kind of bonus crap.
This isn't streaming.
No, it's not streaming, but it is an all-you-can-eat.
Right.
I see. It's only EA games?
It's only EA games, but they will premiere which in the past, I don't know how this will be with Microsoft, obviously, but in the past, part of the issue was it was usually older games, or EA will be including things like Madden NFL 19, FIFA 19, Battlefield 5. So they will have some very, very new releases on here.
Interesting. I honestly like a game, some sort of game subscription thing where I could pay monthly and play all the games I wanted to play when I wanted to play them. Economically would work out better for me, because like I definitely spend more than like $100 a year on games, right? Okay. Like,
I'm actually surprised.
Because I'm a sucker for like think about it, like 2 AAA games a year is more than $100.
Oh yeah. What AAA games have you bought this year?
I bought Far Cry 5.
Right.
I bought the Far Cry 5 like whatever with all the DLCs, so that was like $80 or $85.
So you've already blown your budget.
Yes, and then I bought The Witcher 3 on sale for $20, so boom, I'm over $100.
I was thinking about replaying The Witcher this weekend. Because I was like, someone's playing The Witcher. I want to re-experience it so I can talk to them about it.
Yeah, it's certainly an experience.
I still have not.
I want to like it, but it's kind of kludgy. Like the actual playing is kludgy.
The game is hard.
Yeah.
But you do get the hang of it eventually.
I see.
I think what we need to do, Dan, because I bought my copy when we read the book, and I still have not started it.
Oh man, I think now this is going.
I think I should play it and stream it, and then you should get on there with me and give me and show me what's up.
One of the funniest videos of like, it was a friend. It was people that I didn't know, but I know people who know these people. They were doing like I guess they call it a Let's Play. I'm not sure if they call it a Let's Play on Twitch, if you're just playing the game. And this guy had never played the N64 Zelda game. And he was on the final boss for like 6 hours. And he was on one part for 3 of those hours. He just could not figure out like the one thing that you needed to do. And so the video I saw was at like 3x speed.
And just trying and trying. And...
Right. And the rule was that they couldn't give him any tips. So they could sit there, but they couldn't actually give him any tips. I would happily give you tips, though, Sean.
Thank you, Dan. I'd probably have better luck if I pulled my NES out of storage, hooked that up to Twitch, and just played Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers.
I was also thinking about Chrono Trigger. It's a game you probably wouldn't like.
I have heard of it.
Yeah.
I have heard of it.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I think our career as Twitch game streamers is not taken off for a reason.
It's because we're bad.
Because we haven't tried. Yeah, so there you go. Scarlett coming soon in 2020, so not soon. Got a little ways to go, but we're getting there. All right, let's check the clock. We've got time for one more quick story here. There really aren't many stories left in the rundown, but we can certainly talk about one of them, or really just anything you guys would like to talk about. The weather, or if you maybe...
Spectrum, let's talk about the Spectrum story. I was so confused and then angry.
Well, good then. Let's share this. New York, the Empire State, as they call it. Do you know, what facts about New York State do you know, Dan?
The posters in the subway tell me that there are great national forests in New York State, and there's even a waterfall. There's also beaches.
Is that a provable fact?
I think you could probably prove it.
That it's great?
Yeah.
Is that
what is great? The beaches?
Well, yeah. Are there great beaches?
I think so.
I just don't want to assume.
I think that's safe to assume.
Okay.
I don't know. They're probably just okay beaches, if we're being real. There are no great beaches on the East Coast that I've been introduced to.
What makes a beach great, in your opinion?
Water that
water
is not too cold. Water.
What's
water
too cold?
There are no great beaches in Scotland. It's just too damn cold in the water. Okay? Yeah. But, like, the summertime Connecticut water, that's fine. But Connecticut loses on every other front. The sand, you have to be able to walk on the sand barefoot. You have to be able to walk in the beach, like in the water part, barefoot. There can't be, like, the line, the trash line. You know the trash line on the beach?
Oh,
it can't be too much trash. There's going to be some trash.
A normal amount of trash.
A normal amount of trash, and like there shouldn't be that many large items. That's where it really gets me.
No debris. You don't want any debris.
Right. You can have detritus, but no debris.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And the waves. There should be a time of day where the waves go over your head.
Over your head.
Over your head. It should be possible to, in a non-stormy environment, get waves that go over your head.
Yeah, that's not so much the East Coast.
You're really
even
selling
the other ones. Sand that you can walk on, that's hard but doable on the East Coast.
Yeah.
A beach like the water part that you can walk on?
There are plenty of... You need to visit Rhode Island more.
I do. We need to.
There are plenty of beaches where there are not rocks in the water.
I'm not. We can talk about Rhode Island beaches and New York beaches and Connecticut beaches, but it's like comparing, like, which of these is best of, like, the bottom three on the list. The best of the worst.
It's Rhode Island. That's clear.
And look, hey, I'm from Massachusetts. Cape, overrated. Not that great.
I've only been to the Cape like once. It was fine.
It's not impressive. Dan, I was going to ask you, since you know so much about New York, do you know what the New York State mammal is?
The rat?
Good guess. It's kind of like a rat. It's like the rat of the water.
A beaver?
It is the beaver.
Oh!
Yeah, as declared in 1975.
Look at that.
Do you know the state flower? I won't do all of these, I promise.
No. The mountain lilac. I don't know.
Actually, the lilac is the state bush, so that is a really, as declared in 2006.
All right.
No, the state flower is the rose.
Okay.
That's not very original.
No.
That's a
I
classic,
didn't
though.
know that's what they were known
See,
for.
New York's one of those states that can go for those things.
Go for the classics.
I will leave you with one more, which is, and if folks listen to the Up for Debate episode where we did official state things, they'll know this one. What is the official state beverage of New York? Hint, it's the same beverage that like 26 states use as their official beverage.
Milk.
Oh.
Milk! That is right. The milk lobby,
I was
clearly.
going to say an egg cream.
No, that's a
Come
good
on,
guess,
Colby.
though.
That's some Rhode Island bullshit right there.
An egg cream? I've never heard of an egg cream until we lived in Poughkeepsie.
I was just making fun of you for your silly drinks.
They're cabinets, Dan. Cabinet.
Oh, gross. All right. That being said, let's get back to, we were talking about New York, and they're running wild all over your internet service provider. They're officially kicking internet and cable provider Spectrum, also known as formerly known as Charter, out of the state after
Formerly known as Time Warner.
Formerly known as Time Warner, after the company failed to deliver on its fast internet promises. The state required Spectrum to roll out high-speed internet across undervalued rural areas when it merged with Time Warner Cable in 2016. The company failed to do so after 2 years, and now the state is not only forcing the company to cease operations by revoking its approval of the merger, but it's also seeking $3 million in penalties. Now, Spectrum has to keep operating uninterrupted for 60 days while the state finds a new internet provider to service those customers. The state is asking it to come up with a transitions plan. The company issued a statement saying it has extended the reach of our broadband network to more than 86,000 New York's home and businesses. However, the state expected the company to expand access to an additional 145,000 homes and businesses.
Now, the reason that I was confused, because I was like, wait, what happens to my internet? Which is answered. But then I was angry because I guarantee you that nothing happens. We neither get more high-speed internet coverage, nor do we get a new ISP. I guarantee you that's what happens.
Probably.
Maybe they pay like a penalty. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not like someone can just show up and be like, yeah, okay, I guess I can be your ISP. Like they can't just like turn it around to somebody in 60 days. That sounds really implausible to me, even if they wanted to. So I swear this will be one of those things where they'll just keep pushing back the deadline until someone forgets about it.
Yeah. And it makes me upset because this is like what they need, even when you do hold them accountable, it still doesn't matter. Now, I shouldn't be counting my eggs before they hatch, but...
Well, what's crazy to me about this is I didn't know you could revoke an approval of a merger from 2 years ago. Like, can you just, like, unmerge things? Like, can I go back and be like, oh, AT&T, you can't buy Singular Wireless.
Right.
No, not fair. We're undoing... Like, how far back can you go?
I wonder if it wasn't actually undoing it, because mine isn't called Spectrum. I think it is called Spectrum.
I have Spectrum, but it used to be Charter, and now I have Spectrum, not the Time Warner Cable Spectrum.
Right. So I wonder, but no, I guess the name changed. I was wondering if the merger was still pending or something.
No, it says it is revoking its approval of the merger.
Right, exactly. So what does that do?
It kicks them out of the state, I guess. Because it says the approval was contingent on Charter expanding the network, and since they didn't, the contingency kicks in and the merger approval is revoked. Which is crazy. But then I don't know what happens to... Yeah, that's crazy. How can you do that? That's crazy.
I don't know,
Maybe
man.
this was like a condition of their merger.
Yeah, no, it definitely was, and I get that they did not do it. So I understand, like, you want to penalize them, fine. You want to, I'm sure there are a lot, but how can you like they're merged? How do you it's like science doesn't allow it.
It is weird. It was like they assumed this wouldn't have to happen, so they didn't have to think about the logistics. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of
maybe
like,
they did think about the logistics, and we just don't know.
Well, it's kind of like how when we were talking about Time Warner Cable merging with AT&T, and the government sued them, right? The Trump administration sued them, and then they eventually won the court case and they merged. They're merged now, but the government is appealing that ruling. So can they be unmerged? Like, how does that? Like, that's crazy. That I've never heard. That's absolutely crazy. But I hope Dan, for your sake, I hope you get a good. So you have them now. I hope you get a good. Are you rooting for anybody? Is there anyone you're like pulling for? Like,
well,
yeah.
I could be having FiOS right now, but I don't have. I don't think that conversation would go over super well with my old landlady. I don't think she would understand why we need to put this box in the basement that runs on a battery, and we're gonna have to change the battery about once a year, and we're gonna have to run cables through the house from the outside. I suspect that would be a tough conversation.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Maybe you'll get something really interesting. Maybe you can get one of those like crazy like shortwave microwave radio gimmick internets.
Colby can tell us all about that.
It was mostly functional.
Okay.
That's how I like my internet.
I mean, that's most ISPs, so...
Yeah, I don't think it ever had to go down. It only cost like $20 a month or something, so that was cool. There was no contract. It wasn't very fast, but it was sufficient to... Like, I did the podcast on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst.
No. It's a good option.
I would love just another option. Man.
That's why we did that weird microwave internet, just on principle, because it was fun.
Yeah, I have to switch to Comcast at my new place, which is very upsetting.
I have RCN right now. I don't know if I mentioned that.
That's nice. How's that working for you?
It's very straightforward. I don't think I had to talk to them on the phone. The guy who set up my internet was nice. He checked that things were working and then double checked something and it wasn't right, and he came back and fixed it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's reasonably priced. Also month to month, I think. Not it's just I don't remember actually. I think I can cancel anytime though.
That's nice. Yeah, no, Comcast is really pushy about the contracts.
Yeah, I don't know. I only have internet through them, so I don't know if it's I don't know what it's like for cable or whatever.
Gotcha.
But they were no one they didn't give me any grief about having my own equipment. Yeah, it was good. No complaints from me so far.
Nice. Very cool. Well, Dan, keep us updated on the situation as it unfolds.
I will.
Our New York reporter.
New York correspondent.
That's right, covering all things in the... do you know what the state motto is?
Empire State. Always moving. And grooving. Not sleeping. Not peeping. I don't know.
Yeah, you nailed it exactly. Always moving, not peeping, grooving, never sleeping. New York. No, the state motto is Excelsior, believe it or not.
I guess I had seen that around.
Well, guys, it's time for picks. We're going to move on the part of the show where each of us brings something fun we want to share with the world. And Dan never gets to go first, so Dan can go first.
All right.
What's up, Dan?
This was a couple weeks ago. I was reflecting on... I'm reading Saga, and I really like it a lot. And I read Why the Last Man, which I think I recommended. Oh, I read a story that was getting a TV show. That's what it was.
Yep.
It's there must be another comic book series that I would enjoy reading out there somewhere. All I have to do is find it.
Mm-hmm.
So I searched. And I searched for a long time, and I finally found this one called The Wicked and the Divine. And the conceit is They are superheroes, but the superheroes are like gods, and the trick is that every so often, I forget what it is, not very long, 4 years, 8 years, the previous Lucifer is killed, and the new one is like someone else in the world becomes the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great because now you're the actual devil, but that sucks because you only got 8 years to live. So that's the conceit. The artwork's cool. It doesn't quite satisfy the constraint I had, which is the comic books I like can only be told in comic book form. But I think I'm starting to get beyond that. I think I'm beginning to appreciate the artwork for what it is. So that's my pick. If you like any of those things that I mentioned, Why the Last Man Saga, check it out. You might like this too.
Very nice. The Wicked and the Divine. I did not understand it, which is usually a sign it's very good.
So I sort of messed up because Dan picked a book, and when Dan picks a book, I usually just download it onto my Kindle. But I downloaded this onto my Kindle. I did not realize it was a comic book.
Oh no!
Which I would not have got it on my Kindle.
Well, but here's the good news. You can the reading experience on the iPad and the Kindle app is really good.
Oh,
Give it a
okay.
shot.
Is that where you're reading it?
Yeah, and in fact, Colby, I don't even think I had to pay for it. I think it came with something. Yeah, Kindle and Comicsology, $0, Kindle Unlimited. I don't think I have Kindle Unlimited though. But it says for me, read for free.
Yeah, there's
It said that for me too, and then it tried to get me to buy it.
yeah.
Buy Kindle Unlimited.
Weird. Wait, am I paying for Kindle Unlimited?
They got you.
You might be. It's very confusing.
Oh wait, I'm not
Various
signed into
services.
Amazon. Okay, maybe I did pay for it. I don't remember.
Excellent. Well, while Dan figures out whether or not he paid for it, we will continue on. I'm going to jump in and we'll let Colby take us home. I have got a fun game pick. I've said on the show before, game pick, that I am extremely picky when it comes to mobile games. I get bored with them very quickly. I don't like any that are even remotely complicated or have plot or are interesting. I play cribbage on my phone. I play Sudoku on my phone. I play pool on my phone. I'm a very boring phone gamer.
Do you still play Pocket Run Pool?
I do actually.
So I still sort of play, but I've become very like jaded. Like I'm not gonna not beat my high score, and the only way to beat my high score at this point is to sink all the holes in the 10x pocket and not lose any white balls. So I just will break like over and over and over and over again until I get a good one, and I'll try and do it. And if I miss one shot, then I'll just start over again.
What is this called?
It's very weird.
Pocket Pool?
Pocket Run Pool. I picked it 5
Pocket
weeks ago, maybe.
Run Pool.
Yeah, it's by the same guy who did that really good solitaire game, the name of which I cannot remember.
His name is Zach Gage.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really nice game. But I agree with you, Colby. It's you do hit a wall. It doesn't have longevity.
Yeah.
But my friend and yours, Max Temkin, recommended this game on Twitter. That's how I first heard about it. And I said, I got to try this. It's called Hold Down, HOLEDOWN, Hold Down. And it's just it's kind of arcade gamey in a way where you just shoot these little things and they just bounce around and they just ricochet around as much as possible. And you have to hit these little blocks, and the blocks have numbers on them. And that's how many times you have to hit the block for the block to disappear, and then eventually you want to make all the blocks disappear to clear the level. It's extremely straightforward in terms of how you play, but it is like you can't really play it badly. Like you're not bad at it. Some people are better, but you're not really bad at it. It's a good way to pass time. There's no kind of like complicated level systems or the upgrades are pretty easy to understand. And it's just a fun way to pass time. It's $3.99. It's available on the Apple App Store and on Android, Google Play Store as well. So I think if you just like games that are fun to pass time with, if you like Pocket Run Pool or any of those kind of arcade kind of just Plain Jane Games. I think this is a really fun one. Holddown.com is their website. Give it a shot. Colby, what you got something for us to watch here? What's going on with this?
Yeah, it's an anime.
A what? Japanimation?
Yes.
Who now?
Yeah, it's called Attack on Titan. It's very weird and dark, but if you get past the weird darkness, it's a pretty good show. I feel like it is good in the same way that I mean, not quite the same way, but like it's a like complicated show. There's a lot going on. So if you like Game of Thrones or Westworld, like you might like this kind of show. Is an anime, so like I think there's a dubbed version, but like I've watched it in Japanese with like the subtitles, so you have to be reading the whole time, which is hard. But they do like so there, you know, like Game of Thrones or Westworld or something, there are twists and things like, oh my god, I didn't know. But they have this like at least in what I've seen or the show so far, they do an awesome job with like there's a thing that'll happen in the past and you don't think anything of it at the time, and then like some subsequent thing happens later and it's like, oh my god, how did I not see that this was happening? These people were having like this weird conversation before that was like didn't make any sense. It does that all the time. So it's like the twists are like, it's like it happens right in front of you before, and then you find out later, and you feel sort of like mind blown that the thing was right there in front of your face, but you had no idea. So I think that's cool. They just started airing a third season, which is why it was fresh in mind. But I don't know, if you're looking for something to watch or that sounds like your kind of thing, it's pretty cool.
Neat. Available for purchase on Amazon. Attack on Titan. Cool. Is that our first anime we've ever picked? I certainly haven't picked any.
Did Dan pick Howl's Moving Castle?
I was gonna say, God, all this makes me want to do is watch Howl's Moving Castle. I'm gonna play The Witcher after this and watch Howl's Moving Castle.
You're gonna OD on nerd. Careful.
No,
great.
I did not pick Howl's Moving Castle. Well, now I know what I'm picking next week.
There you go. Great.
Oh,
well,
wait, yes I did.
I was about to say
Yeah. Okay.
But hey, if you want to check out these picks, we'll have links to all of them on our website, so don't worry about remembering them. You can just go to don'tpanic.io. They will be along with this episode. Of course, our website is a great one-stop shop to get everything related to the show. All the past episodes, audio and video, are there, as well as information on how you can subscribe anywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher, Google Podcast, anywhere you get podcasts, we're there. Please subscribe, and you can also watch the video version on YouTube. You can also get a hold of us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter. You can email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. And as I mentioned, up at the top of the show, we do the show live Monday nights. So we hope you can join us there. Apologies to everyone on Facebook Live tonight. Twitch was fine. Do not know why Facebook imploded. We'll be better next time. I will just do a quick mini plugs for Up for Debate. We just published a fun episode on sharks in honor of Shark Week. That was a real hoot. That's at upfordebate.tv. And this coming week, I can tease, assuming we don't end up canceling and moving it, which happens constantly, so I don't know why I do these teases, but it is the long-awaited, after a 3-year hiatus, the long-awaited return of one of my favorite segments. The Trivia Smackdown is back. And we have got several rounds of general knowledge trivia we're going to put to the test. Colby, you successfully beat Matt. Can he redeem himself against his new challenger this time? You'll have to go to upfordebate.tv after we record the episode later this week to find out. I don't even know what's going to happen. Anything could happen.
Anything.
Wow.
It could be a tie.
This is really exciting.
I am jazzed. So it's going to be great. And of course, GameNights.tv, where we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. A new episode coming out this week. We're going to release them, I think, about every other week. So be sure to subscribe to the show at GameNights.tv. The show is goddamn hilarious. It's so good right now. If you've never listened before, there's never a better time to start. So you can check that out there. Guys, anything else this evening? No. We'll just wish everyone out there happy dreams. Good night to all of you. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for more tech news and good times here on Don't Panic.